Hello everyone, I'm Radha Kundaria. The Eternal Quest, in association with Hubhawks, Ahmedabad Book Club, American Corner, Ahmedabad, and Hello Gujarat TV, invites you for a weekend conversation with author Swati Bansode. Swati Bansode is a software engineer residing in Mumbai. She worked in an IT firm for 2 years but left the corporate job to follow her passion for writing and traveling. She also writes poetry inspired from her personal experiences and sometimes even gets on the stage to talk her heart out. Her book, Yours Sincerely Misfit, is a bestseller. Let us know more about her. Welcome, ma'am.
Hello, thank you for having me here.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, we'll start with your journey from a software engineer to a writer. Can you tell us more about your journey towards success?
Sure. So mine is a very typical author, engineer turned author story. When I was young, I had no clue what I really wanted to do, what career I wanted to pursue. So I just took up engineering, and then in my third year of college is when I actually started writing. And so I actually started writing poetry
Mhm.
And then once I graduated from college, then I started working in an IT firm, and that is when I actually started writing a short story. And then later on, I just kept on writing that story, and it eventually just became, it just turned into a book, which is actually Sincerely Misfit. So, to be very honest, I never considered writing that important, but it just happened to me over the years, and now it has just become a very big part of my life.
Yes, ma'am. I'm like, eventually, when you follow your passion, it everything turns out good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ma'am, the title of your book, Yours Sincerely Misfit, and cover page, it looks so different and unique. So, can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, sure. So I've selected the title of the book as Yours Sincerely Misfit because the protagonist of this book, her name is Tara. So she feels like she is a misfit in her own life. So she has this job but she doesn't like it. She wants something more out of her life. She wants to do something different and unconventional. So that is why she just feels like a misfit in her real life. And I've selected, so Your Sincerely stands for, just because the protagonist is actually expressing all her real and raw emotions through this entire book. So she shares all her honest confession, and that is why she just calls herself as Your Sincerely Misfit. And the cover of the book is actually designed by my literary agency, the Book Bakers. We just wanted to show, as the entire book is about her on the cover of the book, and she and that picture had to be, it had to show her actual personality. She is young, she is confused, she is very quirky. So we wanted such a picture on the cover of the book, and later on I just realized that why don't I just use my own picture, because the book is actually very highly inspired by my own life. So I thought I can just use my own picture for the cover. And actually, I'm very thankful for my agent and my publishers, Loxley Hall Publishing, because they have given me freedom to write whatever I want. So I just wanted to write whatever I want, and that freedom when it came to
Um, Ma'am, can you hear me now? Hello?
Hi. Is there any network issue?
Yes, ma'am. I guess there's some network issue.
But now we are
Yeah.
connected, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, the way you described Tara and the title, it is all very relatable to our current generation.
Yeah.
And ma'am, what is that element of self-discovery which is sure to hit you right in the feels and warm your heart when we read your book?
So actually, there are a lot of instances in the book where the reader will be able to connect themselves with Tara a lot. So, as she is very young and she is expressing all her emotions and her struggles and her thoughts, so when the reader reads this book, they will be able to connect themselves with Tara so much. So, there's not just one instance in the book, but a lot of them where no matter your age, if you're young, if you're old, you will be able to connect to this protagonist a lot just because she's talking her heart out. And a lot of readers have come and told me that they see themselves in Tara. They have connected to this protagonist so much. No matter what age you are, if you're a girl, if you're a guy, if you are a little older in your 40s, 50s, everyone has just told me that we have been through the same phase in our life and we have felt the same emotions. So, yeah, that is why this book is actually very relatable to everyone.
Yeah. And the struggles of the character Tara that you just said is just like any other adult. So, is the
Yeah.
character based on real life or imagination? Tell us more about it.
So actually, this entire book is partly fictional and partly it's not. To be very honest, the protagonist is just basically me in real life. All her experiences, her personality, her thoughts, her emotions. I have actually just taken all of those from my own life and I have narrated this story through this protagonist. And the other characters of the book are fictional, the plot is fictional, a few experiences and a few, few parts in the book, they are fictional, but half of it is very real. I have been through the same phase, I have felt the same emotions and the same struggle. So that is why this book is it's a mix and match of everything basically, so you wouldn't know what is real and what isn't apart from me, obviously. But just because I have shared everything that I have been through, that is why everyone is able to connect to the story and basically me.
Yeah, and I think that is why the book is in one of the best sellers. So, ma'am, can you read out your favorite lines from the book?
Yeah, sure. So they are actually just the last few lines of the book. Here it goes.
Yeah.
So hang in there, no matter how long it takes and what it takes. And no matter what the reality is. Don't let go of your dreams because who knows? Those dreams might as well turn into a reality someday.
Yeah. It
So
is,
these are,
it is very wonderful, and like that is why the youth can relate to it because we shouldn't let go of our dreams.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ma'am, your style of writing seems very poetic. So tell us about your narrative style. Do you write poetry too?
Yeah, I actually started my writing journey with poetry. It's a very cliche story. I was 18 years old, I was heartbroken, and I just started writing poems. So that is how I actually started writing. And later on, I tend to write confessional poetry. I like to keep whatever I'm writing, I like to keep the language very simple, but the message that goes out should be very powerful. It should be relatable to a lot of readers. And, when it comes to writing and especially poetry, sometimes it tends to be very complex. Not everyone understands poetry. But I like to keep my language very simple so that everyone is able to understand what I'm writing and they are somehow able to relate to it. If not relate, then at least feel what I've written. So
Yeah.
that is my style of writing. I just like to keep it very engaging and simple. And I think for the most part, I've only written poetry. So I think that just comes in everything that I write. If I'm writing a story, it becomes a little poetic. If I'm writing anything else, so poetry is just a very huge part of my writing journey.
And ma'am, it is simple. That is why, it is very connectable. That is why people could connect to it more.
Yeah.
Now, ma'am, coming to Tara, ma'am, will Tara be able to find what she's really meant to do and stop feeling like a misfit in her own life? How can you relate this feeling to any other adult?
Um, See, I believe that we all feel lost at some point in our lives. You know, we all question our choices. We all think always that is this what I really want to do in life? There are very few lucky people who already know it very early on what they want from their life, what career they want to pursue, and everything. So, but then for the rest of us, we have to, navigate a little bit. We have to experiment a lot with different things just to figure out what we are good at and what we really enjoy doing. And even if you actually find the answer, it's sometimes not very practical to pursue it, it's
Yeah.
very difficult to be a full-time writer, a full-time artist. So that's why I think because of parental pressure or societal pressure, you give up on that option, your dreams and passion, and you just do what you are able to do otherwise. And I think a lot of people go through this phase and they feel like a misfit in their own life just because they are not able to do what they really want to pursue.
Yeah, ma'am, being an adult of this generation, I have myself felt misfit in so many situations that I can't even keep a track of it now.
I know, I
So,
know.
yeah, and ma'am, when we talk about writing a book, it is not just about writing; it is publishing as well. So, did you
Yeah.
face any difficulty in the process of publishing, and how did you overcome it?
I think publishing your first book is very difficult for everyone because it's a very new experience, a new industry. If you are not aware of how you are supposed to publish a book, and even I was just from an engineering background, I had no clue how am I supposed to get a book published. So once I finished writing this book, when I pitched it to different publishers, I also got a few rejections, and then sometimes they didn't even reply to me. So I was facing a lot of problems when it comes to publishing a book. But then later on, luckily, I found my agency, the Book Bakers, and my literary agent, Mr. Suhail Mathur. So once he picked up the book, everything just became very easy and very seamless for me. So he was able to pitch the book to the right publishers. He found me the right publisher, which is Loxley Hall Publishing, and I'm very very grateful that I published my first book through them. Just because they have given me all the creative freedom when it comes to this book. I was very afraid because I was a first time writer. I did not I never expected that a publisher will give me all the creative freedom that I want, but they actually gave it to me. They really loved the cover design and everything. So uh, it's actually every step is very difficult when you're doing it for the first time. Even
Yeah.
after getting the book published, you have to market it because nobody knows you as you're a first time author, right? So you have
Yeah.
to really struggle a lot at every single step, right from the very beginning to you until you get your book published. But then this experience has been really helpful for me just because I could somehow do it on my own, and then I have also received a lot of help from everyone. So I'm very very grateful about that. But I would say that every first time author faces almost the same struggles.
Yeah. But in the end, it all, just summed up really nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually worth it. All the struggle is really worth it.
Yeah. Ma'am, coming to writing style and creativity, plot or characterization, which one is important according to you?
I think ideally both are important, but when it comes to characterization, it's a little difficult. I won't say it's difficult, but it's more important because you have to build a character from scratch. You have to, the reader, when they're reading, they should be able to connect to the character, especially the protagonist. So they have to really bond with them. And then there are other characters in the book. They should have their own personality, their own thought process, and everything. The reader should be able to differentiate between different characters. So when it comes to characterization, it's a little bit more important, and you should be able to nail that really well.
Yeah. Ma'am, after this huge success of yours, Sincerely Misfit, what are your future plans? What will we get more to see?
So I'm currently working on my second book, and it's a collection of all the poems that I've written over the past almost 5 years. So so the second book is almost ready. But then in the long term, I anyway wanted to switch my field and my career choices because I wanted to get into a more creative industry. So I'm just planning to do my masters in creative writing and publishing from a London university in just 2 months. And then after that, I'll probably get into magazine publishing or travel and lifestyle writing. I haven't really decided, but writing is going to be a big part of my future plans.
And we can't wait to read your next book, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, now any message that you would like to give to our audience in this tough times as COVID?
Yeah, I think I can only suggest that uh, we should spend a lot of time doing what we really love to do, you know. The past few months have been very difficult for all of us, and it's very easy to feel negative and be unproductive. Now, we don't really feel motivated anymore that much as we used to before. So I think we should just all take out some time every day and do what we really love to do, because I've been only writing and reading a lot, and it has really helped me. So I think that's the only suggestion that I can give everyone, that you should definitely take out some time every single day and do what you really enjoy doing, because that is going to help you a lot.
Yeah. And just like we saw how you followed your passion and then towards your success. And ma'am, now it's time for a quick rapid fire session.
Okay,
So you'll have to be rapid for it. I'll ask the questions.
sure.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So the first question is going to parties or going on a tour? Which one will you prefer?
I generally like both, but I think now I'd like to go on a trip because
Okay,
it's
yeah, because of COVID.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. So your favorite tourist destination then?
Iceland is on top of my bucket list.
Okay. Then your favorite quote?
This too shall pass.
Okay. And your favorite cuisine?
Italian,
Your passion next to writing?
traveling,
Okay.
for
And
sure.
if someone were to write to an autobiography about you, what would you suggest to be the title of that book?
I think I've written my own autobiography via Yours Sincerely Misfit. There's just
Yeah.
so much of me into this book. So I think even if we have to write another book, it has to include the word misfit, because I really love that word a lot. And I think it describes me very well. No matter, how many years pass by, I think I'll always be a misfit.
Yeah, and that is also very, very relatable. Okay.
Exactly.
So thank you, ma'am. It was a great session with you, and it was really
Okay.
an honor to have you. And we wish you all the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here, and you have hosted this session very nicely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.